Hey, welcome back to Uncle Jim's Car Corner. I'm Uncle Jim. Last episode, we talked about the connection between your car's safety systems and what you pay for insurance. Today, we're going deeper into something I've watched play out in shops for years, and it costs consumers real money and real safety. When your car is repaired after an accident, there is a gap between what the insurance company considers a complete repair and what the manufacturer requires for your safety systems to work correctly. Today, I'm going to walk you through exactly what that gap is, what it costs you, and what you need to know before it happens to you. When an insurance company evaluates a collision repair claim, they are working from a standard. That standard is repair to pre-loss condition. On the surface, that sounds like it means everything. In practice, it can mean less than you think. Manufacturers, the companies that designed your vehicle, gear, publish specific repair and calibration procedures for every model they make. When an ADAS sensor is disturbed during a repair, the manufacturer's procedure spells out exactly what must happen to restore that sensor to its designed operating parameters. The environment, the equipment, the measurement sequence, the verification steps, all of it. Insurance adjusters are evaluating cost, and the calibration procedures that manufacturers require add cost. When an adjuster doesn't include calibration on the original estimate or approves a process that doesn't meet the OEM standard, the gap between what was paid for and what was required becomes your problem. Here's something the industry knows that most consumers don't. A calibration scan tool can return a calibration successful message while the sensor is still not correctly aimed. The software confirms the process completed, not that the sensor is actually seeing what it was designed to see. This happens when the calibration environment isn't correct, when the vehicle hasn't been properly measured and aligned first, when the space doesn't meet the lighting and geometry requirements the procedure calls for. A proper ADAS calibration has prerequisites. The vehicle must be on a level surface. Alignment must be within specification. Ride height must be verified. The space must meet specific distance requirements for the targets. If those prerequisites aren't met, the calibration process may complete, and the safety system may still not perform as designed, and your warning lights won't tell you that. Let me put a real number on this. A long-range radar sensor on a modern vehicle can see more than 2.5 football fields down the road. If that sensor is off by even a small angle, from a bumper impact, from an improper repair, or from a calibration that wasn't done correctly, it is no longer looking at the center of the road. By the time a shorter range sensor picks up the vehicle in your path, you may have less than 1 second to react at highway speed. That is not a theoretical scenario. That is the geometry of how these systems work. The repair that looked fine on the outside, the calibration that came back successful on the scan tool, the vehicle that drives normally for weeks, and then the moment when the system that was supposed to protect you doesn't. That is the cost, not the dollar cost on your estimate, the real cost. Shops that work with insurance carriers are frequently in a difficult position. They know what the manufacturer requires. They also know that the insurer controls the approved repair cost. And in many cases, the insurer and the manufacturer don't agree on what's necessary. Based on industry data, more than half of all required calibrations are added only as supplements after the repair is already underway. The shop had to identify the requirement, document it, submit it, and wait for approval. Sometimes the approval comes, sometimes it doesn't come in full. I am not here to tell you every shop handles this the same way. The good ones fight for the right repair every time. But you, the vehicle owner, need to know this dynamic exists because your safety is the outcome. Before you hand over your keys after an accident, ask 2 questions. Does this repair require any ADAS calibration per the manufacturer's procedure for my vehicle? And if it does, how are you handling it and what documentation will I receive? Ask for documentation when you pick up your vehicle. A properly performed ADAS calibration should produce a record showing what was calibrated, what equipment was used, and what the result was. If it was done, there should be paperwork. And after you get your car back, pay attention if warning lights appear that weren't there before. If your safety systems trigger unexpectedly or seem to stop functioning, go back. That is not normal, and it is not something you should accept. In the next episode, we are getting into the specific questions to ask your insurance company before any of this happens. So you know exactly where you stand before you need to find out the hard way. This is Uncle Jim's Car Corner, your resource for making informed decisions about your vehicle. Real talk, real tips for every mile you drive.